Welcome to the Spring 2015 Student Presidential Debate. Our candidates are Kyle Horner of the Populist Party, Summer Rogers of the Liberty Party, Kyle Spanton of the Freedom Party, and Ezra Voigt of the Reform Party. Each candidate will have a minute to make an opening statement. Kyle Horner, we'll start with you.
Good afternoon, fellow classmates and friends. First, I would just like to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this. Second, I would like to say thank you to my fellow running mates for having a good debate with us at this time. I wish everybody the best of luck. And I hope this debate gives all of you insight to who really should win this. Yes.
Very good. Summer.
Hello, Brandon Valley. My name is Summer Rogers. My Vice President Alex Wilde and I represent the Liberty Party. We stand for bettering your environment. With us, a wider range of classes, improvement to the building, and cheaper food will be available to you. Fewer classes a day and less homework will lighten your stress level. From the way you learn to the place you learn, your school will be the best for you with me as your president. Together, we can improve our campus. Thank you very much.
Very good. Kyle Spanton.
Hello everyone, I'm Kyle Spanton. I feel I'm here today as less of a candidate and more as a representative for the Freedom Party. The people behind the curtain that have put in a lot of time and work to let you get to know me. Whether it be Bethany with all her time editing or Sean and Pat with their amazing website. If you choose me, these people will continue to work hard for you and we will better Brandon Valley. Thank you.
And finally, Ezra.
Hello, students and staff of Brandon Valley. My name is Ezra Voigt. My vice president is Tessa Tobin, and we represent the Reform Party. And I would like to say that welcome, first off, to this wonderful debate, possibly the greatest debate that Brandon will ever see. And I would like to say that a vote for me is a vote for happiness and freedom and good times that come to Brandon Valley. A vote for any of these other candidates is a vote for disgusting, depressing, and evil tendencies. And yeah, that's all.
All right. The first question is for Kyle Spanton. Kyle, one of your more controversial ideas is to cut all sanctioned activities and replace them with new sports. If you did this, we would no longer be able to compete in competitions against other schools since they would not have those same sports. No one would be able to compete in statewide tournaments and competitions that way. So essentially, we'd be left with nobody to compete against in these new sports. Why do you feel that this plan for these new sports is better than our existing system?
Well, I've definitely thought about the answer to this question because it's probably the biggest noticed flaw in our platform. But to understand why we did it, you have to understand the people of my party. We are a mixture of athletic people, smart, like taking place in competitions for science, and we're just a big mixture of students. And so we've decided to take competition out of sports and put in more sports that would make us come closer together as people in Brandon.
Okay. Kyle Horner, this is your question. Your platform states that students who misbehave in class would be sent to the corner. You also call for bringing back a kangaroo court. Both of these ideas could potentially publicly shame and humiliate the students of Brandon Valley. How do you defend yourself against those who say that your policies are promoting school bullying?
Well, I'd like to say that's a great question, by the way. And the timeout corner is for those troubled kids that think they need to talk in class while others are learning. It does not promote bullying. It just promotes time for you to think about yourself and what you are causing to other people.
Okay. Ezra, under improving the school, or the life of the school, life of students, you say that you will require student IDs to enter the school. How exactly would that improve student life, and what would you do if a student did not have an ID? Would they not be allowed to enter the school?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'll answer this pretty briefly. But for instance, say a gunman were to come up to the front of the school. He would not have an ID, therefore the gunman would not enter the school. Here at the Reform Party, we stand for protection of the students, and that's basically what the policy is all about. And yeah, and if a student does not have an ID, well, you can always call and get one, call your parents or something, and there will be someone standing outside, I'm sure. There will be someone watching that can help you out if you find yourself in one of those situations.
So if I had lost, let's say I was a student and I lost my ID,
Yeah, you can always go to the office and just get one.
in the office in the school?
Well, yeah, like my candidate just said, you can make a drive-through. No, you can, I don't know, you shouldn't lose your ID. It's the most important thing to carry around, so.
Okay, very good. Summer, in your platform, you only have one item that deals with improving the life of Brandon Valley students, and that is block scheduling. The other candidates have multiple ideas that would improve the overall life of the students. How do you respond to critics that say that you are out of touch with the needs of the students of Brandon Valley?
First and foremost, the idea of a block scheduling would wrap around a lot of improvements for our school. It decreases the amount of classes we take on a daily basis. Therefore, the 90 minutes that you have for these classes allow you to have less homework, learn more through that 90-minute area, and it speeds up your afternoon because you don't have to work through so much homework. It helps you with your classmates. You develop a way to learn more and faster throughout that time. So I believe that it's more than just one thing. It's a mix of quite a few.
Okay. Another question here, this one is for Kyle Spanton. You plan on changing the start of the school day to 8:30 and the release to 3:45. Why do you feel that this change is a needed change?
I feel the change is needed because, like I said in my stump speech, I think I had a statistic on there about how in schools that started later and got out a bit later, the kids performed better academically.
Okay. Kyle Horner, if elected, you would give exercise balls to students to replace chairs. Can you explain how and why this idea makes sense?
All right, so working out is a great part of everybody's life, and it should be. With exercise balls, you can have a good ab workout while you're sitting down. It is scientifically proven that you are working more muscles than just sitting in a chair.
Okay. Ezra, your platform calls for cutting jail benefits. What specific jail benefits are you talking about, and why do you feel that we need to cut them?
Well, I feel that if you're in prison, you've done something wrong to end up in prison, and we would be cutting health benefits for the prisoners and also like Medicare, Medicaid, stuff like that. And we'd also be cutting different programs that would apply to them, benefiting themselves in certain areas. I think that if you're in prison, you've done something wrong to end up there, and I don't think we should be giving the same benefits we give to everyone else that's not in prison to the prisoners.
Okay. And Summer, your plan to punish students is an option, or they have the option of cleaning the school. Can you tell us more about the specifics of this plan? For instance, would there be different jobs for different infractions?
I would believe that it's dependent upon what is necessary to be cleaned at that time. So if you didn't feel like you wanted to sit on the detentions, you could go to a classroom and vacuum, or you could clean up desks that have stuff on the bottom, because we all know there's desks like that with gum on the bottom. You can clean lab rooms. It would all be dependent upon what is necessary and not what you have done. So.
Okay, very good. We are to to the part of the debate where you get the chance to ask questions to each other. Ezra, you have the first opportunity to ask a question.
This is a question for Mr. Spanton. So your platform calls for physical labor instead of Saturday school. So how would kids who are physically handicapped do this?
The physically handicapped could also partake in the amounts of physical labor, such as just cleaning up the walls, like taking down posters that are from the past or anything like that.
Okay.
Summer, you may ask a question.
Mr. Horner, what would your students be doing during this recess that you're offering?
All right, so that's a good question. I like that question. And recess, great opportunity to get your daily exercise in. I don't have a lot of time in my day, so I believe that a recess would be very beneficial to my health, and done.
Okay, Kyle Horner, you may ask a question.
So, I'd like to move this one to the other Kyle. And in your platform, you mentioned that students with a GPA of 3.5 or higher will be exempt. What happens to the students that try really hard in school but are not good at like testing and they fail and do not make the line cut?
We also have it where if you miss under 5 days, you are also exempt.
Hey, that's pretty good.
All right, the second question. Kyle Spanton, you can ask the first question.
We're going to go back to Ezra for this one. This is on your artificial turf plan. So you plan on replacing the grass with the turf, yet you don't play football. You know how much the artificial turf is going to cost? It's going to be around $1,500. So how do you plan on paying for this, and why don't you like grass?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I do like grass. And, well, we have a lot of plans for paying for our expenses. And one of these, we have a greenhouse that's going up, which we will be growing crops on the greenhouse, genetically modified crops. You know, we got grapes that taste like cotton candy, watermelons that are in boxes, you know, cubed. I mean, it's a good time. And we're gonna have all that stuff. And we also have a school store with books and supplies and school merchandise that you can purchase. We're building a swimming pool as well. You can have a swimming pass with memberships and lessons. This is all generating income. And we're going to have a coffee bar and a school-wide rummage sale as well. So money is not really an issue here with the Reform Party. We plan on making quite a bit of it.
All right.
Kyle Horner, you may ask a question.
So, I have a question. Your platform states...
What's your question for?
Oh, sorry. This kid, Ezra. Your platform states that you wish to cut girls' golf for aquatic sports. Why would you only cut girls' sports, but not boys' sports? Are you sexist?
No, I'm not sexist. We also cut boys tennis. And aquatic sports, we're building a swimming pool, as I earlier mentioned. Aquatic sports is a compilation of multiple activities, multiple sports. So we're cutting one activity, but we're adding, I'd say, 5 or 6 different more sports. And yeah, you can't go wrong with aquatic sports, man. You know, good stuff.
That's good, that's good.
Okay. Summer, you may ask a question.
Mr. Voigt, how do you plan on paying for the swimming pool that you have to generate money, and the store, and the, what did you call it, the above-roof garden? Greenhouse garden? And how would that greenhouse garden work during the winter time?
Well, it's an all-year-round greenhouse, built especially for all year round. and how we're paying. You can take out a loan, obviously, and we're going to pay off that loan pretty quickly with all the money we're going to be generating from the store, from the greenhouse, from the swimming pool. The swimming pool will be year-round. Bring your family, bring your friends. We'll have a good time. It's going to be a year-round thing. And so we're going to be making quite a bit of money here at the Reform Party.
All right, Kyle Spanton, you may ask the next question.
All right. Summer, I got a question for you. Why do you want to add a required sex ed class when we already went in 5th grade and had all that stuff?
When you were in 5th grade, did you understand what all that meant, first and foremost?
I definitely did. I mean, I could just look at my body and know the answer to
All right.
half those questions.
So as a teenager, being a teenager, we, as in general, have the idea that we know everything as far as what we have learned in 5th grade. And there is an expansion that we have to learn from what we have previously learned. And going into high school, I believe it's important to cover it again because not a lot of people understood it the first time, and it should be required to know what you're getting into before you get into it a lot. So,
Very good. Summer, you may ask the question.
sorry about that. Excuse me. So, Mr. Spanton, in your platform, you said that you wish to spend only money that is available. How do you plan on covering the cost of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, which totaled over $1,687 billion last year alone? And, okay, yes,
Here's your pencil, by the way.
thank you.
Yep. So, like Ezra, we're going to have a school store where currently we have that area in our lunchroom where we sell a bunch of candy and pop for sporting events. So we're just going to add clothing and other apparel to that zone. And also, we're going to have Friday night game nights, so students could pay like $1 or $2 to come into the school, play like dodgeball, watch movies, video games are set up, and stuff like that. And then we're also going to have a couple more talent shows where we're going to have one in the fall and the spring to add more diversity, and then you can also pay for that.
May I ask another question?
Certainly, as long as it's related to this one.
Okay, I meant this on a national basis. Where are you planning on getting the money for the nation to spend all this money?
That's a very good question. Since this is a national issue, I'm going to change it to my national answer. We're going to have some mandatory recycling to better America, and like 5-cent tax will be raised if you don't like recycling or if you don't recycle. Thank you.
Okay. Kyle Horner, your chance to ask a question.
So, I would like to address this one to Kyle Spanton. You mentioned that you want to offer an extra life class about, it's going to be after school too. So it says that you talk about taxes, finances, renting, bills, and dating in the class. We already have a class like this, and it's called personal finance. Why do we need an extra class for something that we already have?
Yeah, that's also a really good question, but like you said just now, it's going to be after school, so if you take personal finance or economics and you don't really understand it or you want some more help with it, you can take the after-school class and get a little more educated and try and help your future.
Double dosage, that's a good idea.
Thank you.
Ezra, your chance to ask a question.
Yeah, I got another question for Mr. Spanton. So your outdoor class calls for dangerous activities. How do you expect to keep the students safe? during these dangerous activities.
Can you give me an example of a very dangerous activity I have?
Well, it's an outdoors class, so I'm assuming that you're going to be running around, people are going to trip and fall, maybe skin the knees, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a pretty dangerous, you're going to have, medical care available there.
I will definitely provide Band-Aids if you skin your knees.
There's some crazy bacterial infections that can come from just skinning the knee, so.
Well, we got you covered. And also, if you want to have some reassurance, we'll also have a consent form saying that you are all right if you get hurt in a minor way, such as skinning your
Will you
knees.
be all right if you get a crazy bacterial infection that might kill you?
That is why you put antibiotics on the Band-Aids we give you,
Oh, okay.
because we'll provide that too
All right.
for you.
All right, well, I think we have one more, a chance for one more question from each of you. Let's start with Kyle Horner this time.
Spant, you want to start?
Sure.
All right.
Let's keep the roll going.
So, in your platform, you mentioned that you want to cut all current sports, and I believe that all the sports that these people are in right now have fit them, and they've trained their whole lives to do these sports. Now they're going to be cut in no way to get better at this sport. How do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Like I answered for Mr. Grody earlier, we're planning to cut these sports to make Brandon a friendlier grouping for students, make a lot more diverse in the sports, and have just an all-around good time instead of being really competitive.
Kyle Spanton, you can ask the next question.
Thank you. Okay, so I know you were asked earlier about your recess, but how do you plan on integrating it? Would you want to cut out time for team, or what would you do for that?
There's time in the day, and team is a good one. Also, there's time if you want to finish up your lunch a little early, go outside, have a good time with your friends.
That's already allowed.
You can't go beyond a certain point, though.
So if you had recess, you could?
Yes, sir.
Where would your point be?
Well, you might want to go out on the field, play a little catch, get warmed up for after-school sports. You could go toss around a Frisbee a little bit, maybe, and ideas are endless, what you can do.
All right, thank you.
Ezra, you may ask a question.
This is to Mr. Horner. So how do you plan on paying for huge projects like the heated pool and your heated bleachers?
I'm glad you asked that one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, sure you do, buddy.
So, just to think big now. Girl Scout cookies, worldwide.
Why? Yeah, I'll give you props for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Summer, your chance.
Mr. Spanton, as you have just talked about, you have said that your sports would create a more full relationship within the students in the school. What if you're not involved in sports? What if you're not continually involved in activities such as sports like that?
A lot of the activities we are adding, you don't have to be very physically fit at all, such as paintball or fencing or archery. And that's basically it. I mean, more diversity because they're fun for everyone.
All right, thank you.
We're to the part of the debate where I'll ask questions to basically the same question. You all have an opportunity to answer the exact same question. However, the first question I ask is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to ask a question, but there's actually 4 scenarios here. And I'll let you choose which one you have, and then a different one will go to a different candidate. Sometimes the country faces difficult times. And in those times, sometimes the president needs to talk to the people, to inspire confidence that we will make it through these times. FDR gave the fireside chats during World War II and the Great Depression. Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. George Bush after 9/11. All are examples of a president addressing the people, trying to instill confidence that we will continue on. So I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to address the people. How will we get through this particular dilemma? How will you inspire confidence? Ezra, we'll start with you, and you can pick numbers 1 through 4, whichever number you'd like.
Go with 3.
Number 3, it's January 15th, and the heat just went out of the school. Temperature in the classroom has dipped below 50 degrees. The school will not be released early, and it's still morning. How will we get through this day?
So I'm acting in this scenario? Okay. Students of Brandon Valley, I know you are cold, but be warm. Be warm through my voice. I am here to warm you up. You will get through this day. You will go home. You will have a good time. You will make a bowl of popcorn, sit down and eat it as soon as you get home. But right now you're kind of cold, and I get that. Sometimes I'm cold too, but think about it. As soon as you get home, as soon as you get by that fireplace, you're going to feel a whole lot better.
Very good. Summer, questions 1, 2, or 4?
I'll take 2, please.
2, before the start of third period, the lunchroom announces that because of mechanical failure, they will not be able to provide any food to the students for the day. Students will not be fed for the entire school day, and they will not be able to leave school early. They also will have to be in team for the entire hour.
Students of Brandon Valley, I am sorry to report that you cannot eat today. However, if you can make it through at the end of the day, once you get home, you can have food there. And if you cannot, you can come to my house, and you can definitely have food in my house. I will do my best to provide the best for you, and I thank you for your patience throughout the day. Thank you.
Very good. Kyle Spanton, 1 or 4?
What would you like? I'm giving you a choice.
I'll take 1.
All right, there you go. We got 4.
4 it is. A sudden blizzard catches everybody off guard. It's too dangerous for students to be on the roads, and the governor has required that students be kept in school overnight. It is possible that this blizzard may go on for multiple days, and students will not be able to leave the school. How will you address the students to this dilemma?
Very serious matter, so I'm going to stand. Hello, students, Brandon Valley. Sadly, the South Dakota weather outside has made it so you can't leave. But luckily, we have a lot of things you can do here. You can play games. You can do your homework. You can come and you can stand on this stage exactly, and you can act. You have an endless amount of possibilities in here if you just imagine it. So, I'm sorry that you have to stay overnight, and I will provide you with all the warmth I can. But sadly, it's cold outside. So, I'm sorry.
Very good. And Kyle Horner, all the bathrooms are out of order, and it's 9 a.m. in the morning. We will have the normal school day. The restrooms will not be repaired until after school, and some students already need to use the restroom. How will you address their concerns?
That's a serious situation. I have a solution, though. Mr. Grody, he has a fine porch that nobody knows about, and this porch will be open today for bathroom and restroom breaks. It will be cleaned up the next day.
Do they urinate?
Yes, on your porch. I'm
Good.
sorry.
All right, very good. These next questions, it'll be the exact same questions to all 4 candidates. We'll change the order this time. Kyle Horner, you'll go first on this one. Campaigns are oftentimes inaccurate. Are there any accusations or claims that were made by any of your opponents that you feel were unfair? maybe in one of the commercials, maybe in some of the propaganda, that you would like to respond to now and set the record straight?
They say that it encourages bullying. It will not. This timeout corner is what everybody has been coming at me with, accusations upon accusations. I say you will be thinking about yourself and not others.
Can I ask a question for you?
No.
Okay.
I'm curious of the question, even if Kyle doesn't want to answer it. What was the question you planned on asking?
What do you plan on doing with the students who are not paying attention in class but have not been sent to the timeout corner? What if they want to throw a ball of paper at this person facing a corner?
There's multiple corners in a classroom. They'd be sent to the other one, I believe.
Okay, I think that answers that question.
Yep.
Kyle Spanton?
Yes.
Are there any accusations made by any of your opponents that you would like to address?
In one of the propagandas that I recently viewed, it talked about how we're going to hire grandmothers to cook, and it said that I want these grandmothers to die, basically. And I don't want grandmothers to die, because why would I want that? Anyways, so to clear that up, we're not going to just have grandmothers that are not qualified. We are going to make sure they are healthy and well and able to cook without having a chance of death.
Very good. Summer, any accusations you would like to address?
One thing that I have been trying to answer for quite a while now is the idea of me wanting you to stay till after your things in the evening for your detention. Detention goes before and after school, no matter what you have going on. So if you have a meeting, you have to miss that meeting. If you have an activity, you have to miss that activity. I'm sorry, you're the one who did you did the disruption, you're the one who did the action, you should pay for the consequences. So I don't want you to stay till midnight. That's ridiculous. So, thank you.
Very good. And Ezra?
Yeah, here at the Reform Party, we have a pretty solid platform. I know it was pretty hard for you guys to find something to attack. I did hear a little bit about, the whole ID idea, but honestly, like I said before, it's just for your guys' safety. I don't want another school shooting to happen, and this is my way of preventing it.
Okay, very good. The next question, this time we'll start with Summer, and then we'll go with Horner, and then Ezra, and then Spanton. What personal talent do you possess that your opponents do not? And why do you believe that that talent would make you, or maybe we should go talent or quality, and why do you think that talent or quality would make you the best choice for president?
I believe that I have a lot of experience in leadership, and one of the major qualities to be a president is to have the ability to be a leader. So through my experiences through Vacation Bible Schools for years, for drum major, for band, for being a part of my section for band, for choir, for theater, oral interp, being a leader is the number one quality, and to have that experience and to know, and to have people that know that I had that experience is wonderful. So.
Very good. Kyle Horner?
I disagree with my opponent. People skills is what I think is the most important. To connect with all of you is to bring your information to me and I put it out. So thank you.
All right, very good. Ezra?
I'm a pretty creative person. One of my talents is beatboxing. I enjoy doing it, and I'm fairly good at it. And as president, I would be fairly creative, and I could teach you guys some skills of your own.
Okay, and Kyle Spanton?
I think my best quality would be my integrity, because if you come to school and you are told you're going to get something and you don't get it, you're going to lose faith in that person. So I'm not going to lie to you people about what you're going to get from our party.
Very good. The next question, we'll go with Ezra, and then Kyle Spanton, Summer, and then Kyle Horner. This question is, the President of the United States has a song called Hail to the Chief that is played when they make public appearances. It's essentially their theme song. What song would you choose, if you were chosen president, to be played when you entered a room? Ezra?
Yeah, well, that's a really tough question, actually, because I have a lot of songs that I think would be necessary. Let's see here. You know, I'm gonna go a little bit old school with this. I'm gonna say Ice Ice Baby. When I walk in the room, you know, everyone's gonna get cold. They're gonna get scared of my power, my integrity. Especially, I could tell when I walked up on the stage, you guys are getting a little shaky, turn a little blue. And it's a fairly accurate song. It's a happy, upbeat song, which portrays my personality as well.
Very good. Kyle Spanton?
I'm also going to go old school. I think the best song that would describe when I walked into the room would be Stairway to Heaven, and more specifically, the guitar solo in it, because myself and my party are definitely going to try and better the school, and we are going to raise it and better it a lot.
Okay. Summer?
I would have to say that our theme song, like we have said in our interview, is courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue by Toby Keith, because it talks about the fantastic things that we have in America, and the reason we would pick that would be because we would bring these fantastic things to your school. So.
Okay. And lastly, Kyle Horner.
A great song in this past couple of years that's come out. It's called Concerning Hobbits. It describes how two friends go on a journey, and they get closer and closer, and they never leave each other. And that's just gonna describe how me and you are gonna be as people, and we're gonna get to know each other. You're gonna express your ideas to me, and I'm gonna push them out into this world.
All right, last question before we do our closing statements. This question deals with a famous person. Who is a famous person who you greatly admire, and why? It could be both living or deceased. Let's start with Summer.
I would have to say that one of the most powerful images of our time currently is Lady Gaga, because of her creativity and her impact on changing how teenagers nowadays, or people into pop music, have become so enthralled with what she does. So.
Very good. Kyle Horner.
Mine would probably be Torstein Horgmo. He is the world's greatest snowboarder out there at the time. He inspires me with his moves, and I really look upon him as a great figure.
Okay. Kyle Spanton.
A inspirational person for me would be Eminem, because he started living in a trailer home with his mother, and he grew all the way to be a professional musician.
And Ezra.
Yeah, I'm going to go back crazy old school with Abraham Lincoln. And the reason I chose Abraham Lincoln is because as your president, I will free you as slaves. Kyle Spanton, I should say, wants to enslave you with forced labor and whatnot. And as your president, I will not let that happen, and I will free you, just like Abraham Lincoln did with the slaves.
Can I
You may respond
to that?
since he made an accusation.
Okay, so how would I enslave our students?
Forced labor.
You're not going to be forced for labor.
Forced labor punishment.
Okay.
Sounds like forced labor to me.
So, instead of Saturday school, we are actually just going to have you do fundraising or pick up things. Again, like I said, just cleaning the school.
Okay, physical labor?
Exactly.
Okay, moving on. You had a chance to respond to them. We're to the point where we have our final statements. You have not a whole lot of time to make these. Let's start with Ezra. You may give your closing statements first.
Yeah, so as I said before, with my presidency, I will bring you happiness. And with these candidates, you will see no such happiness. So make the easy choice and vote for Voight.
Kyle Spanton.
My conclusion to this very wonderful debate is just going to, again, go off my integrity. I'm a president who's not going to lie to you, and I'm a president who is going to honor you when you do something great for the school. Therefore, say you can, vote for Span.
Very good. Summer.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody that's made this possible, including my fellow candidates, and Mr. Grody and Mr. Visti. I would also like to say that with me, Summer Rogers, as your president, you could expect to have a more energetic, smarter, and caring Brandon Valley High School. But that can't happen unless you vote for me. So when you hit the polls, remember, vote Summer, the brighter choice.
Very good. And Kyle Horner.
Fellow classmates and friends, I ask you today if you're ready for change. No, I'm not the ordinary person that says I'm going to change stuff and never do. They're talking about it, but I'm going to be about it. This world is filled with lies, but now the lying comes to an end with a vote from you. Thank you.
Very good. This concludes the Spring 2015 Student Presidential Debate.